Evening, ladies and gentlemen. I thought we'd have a bit of a discussion about this right in front of you, KDE 3.5, and how it's progressed to 4.0, 4.1. Right now, we're at 4.5.5. Now you can see this is a fairly wow. It was classic in the day, wasn't it? I'm sure a few of you guys might be missing it. The new KDE is a bit different, I guess. Yeah, we moved along, didn't we? We moved along to this broken desktop that we had straight after the transition, KDE 4.0. You remember, a lot of people thought it was ready. Indeed, it was ready for developers to actually work on. It wasn't really ready for the end user. And you had to compare that to the GNOME experience, and well, I'm sure you guys can have a look at it and see how GNOME's changed over the last few years, and it seems that they get moving on with GNOME Shell. Still yet to see how that progresses, but anyway, this is a KDE video, not a GNOME video, but you see how things progressed. I mean, we had this black bar down here, and this was a awful looking clock, wasn't it? And this here, and if you actually have this running, if you had this actually running, it was a little bit buggy. Then progressed along to this, I guess. It was a bit nicer, looked a bit nicer. Had the this set out here with the a lot of people didn't like this, the folder. I guess they call it a folder view now. I suppose the walnut was a little bit unusual for people too. And we moved on to this, the KDE 4.3. It's not really named on there, but KDE 4.3. And things started to look very nice, but then we had this buggy thing down here, the taskbar there. And overall it started looking a lot better over time. And I guess the KDE team have sort of worked on it and worked on it and worked on it until we get to this point. It says here KDE 4.3, but no, I don't think that's quite right, because I downloaded these from Google. I thought I'd just show you these guys. But things have moved on. We're at 4.4 here, I believe. Got a little network management thing here. Wasn't working so well back then, I remember. Then we're at 4. Oh, what have we got here? This must be 4.4. Anyway, things are progressing along. You can see we've got this nice dolphins looking very nice. The desktop's starting to look very pretty. The air theme is really coming through. Although here we can see we have these little coloured icons still. These little coloured icons, you know. And then things progress to where we are today. Right? There we got 4.5, nice transparencies, everything like that, guys. Things have improved in the last couple of years. You think, like, I was damning the KDE project when they moved from 3.5.10 to 4.0, and you know what? I was wrong. I was really wrong. Matthias Ettrich and his, I hope that's the right pronunciation. It's probably not, but the team did really, really well over the last couple of years, and I was bagging them back then. I was like, are we ever going to have a KDE again? K-desktop environment? Are we ever going to have one that we can use again? And then, of course, we're waiting now until January 26th, until the new version of KDE comes out, 4.6.0. What can we expect from that? Well, I don't have much of an image. It's a bit dim and dark there. I've messed around with it in KDE. I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but it's really looking good. A lot from 4.5 obviously carries on over to 4.6, but we're starting to really see a mature desktop. If you look at GNOME, I'm a bit worried about GNOME. I'll tell you, I used it for a long time and I thought it was great, you know. But now I'm sitting here thinking, geez, GNOME Shell, is GNOME Shell really going to cut it against the likes of KDE? And then, of course, we've got it's not a fork, but we've got I suppose, GNOME remixed in somewhat sort of way from Canonical, with calling it Unity. And you guys might have used that too. I'll just get out of this for a second. Look at this wonderful desktop, this smooth, wonderful desktop that I'm using here. Look at this wireless network manager. It's wonderful. Look at it compared to the one that we've got. Everything's prettified. I'm just wondering, guys, what are your thoughts here? I mean, sure, you have to do a couple of things, like yeah, you have to make I'm using Arch Linux here, so when I installed Arch Linux, when I installed KDE on top of it, and I had Mozilla Firefox, it didn't look pretty like this. It looked ugly. But then again, you just install the Oxygen theme for GDK, otherwise known as Oxygen Molecule, I believe it's called, and you get this wonderful desktop. I mean, can you even compare this to Windows? I start wondering to myself, like, Windows compared to this. Maybe this is just a rant. I don't know. You guys are going to have to fill me in on this, but I tell you, we are really, really, really being treated well in the free and open source community. And you know what? That that project, that you're sort of working on, that's actually Linux for You and Me. Actually, it's a KDE 1980 there, but it's actually the guy who does Linux for You and Me on YouTube. I'm just thinking, guys, we are being so treated, and we should not have really bagged out. Any of us who bagged out the KDE software collection project, the KDE project, and what they were doing, we were wrong, completely wrong. And KDE, for what it's worth, it really deserves our backing from now on, I think. That's how I feel. I feel it deserves our backing, my backing at least, in some way. Promote it, whatever small thing I can do for the project, please. That's what I feel like I should do. Because I'm basically living off the benefits of those people who had the faith in the leadership there. And in some way, I sort of think that's not fair. And that's, if they break KDE when they move to 4.5, 5.0, if they move to 5.0 and it's completely broken, so what? So what? Let's help them. Let's help them get it right. Anyway, guys, just tell me comments or anything. I normally do the command line stuff. I know I've been really slack. I owe you guys one. There'll be one coming soon. It's about it's about how you can copy audio CDs, and I'll be doing legitimately with MC Links. He's got an album out that's free. You get free to use or whatever for non-commercial purposes. I'll be using that as basically a demo for how to do that. But anyway, outside the command line stuff, what do you guys think? I mean, Linus said years ago that anyone who's using GNOME should really consider using KDE because it's better. It's got more features. I know that GNOME has been considered stable for a long time, very stable, but it doesn't seem to be moving in a direction that I can follow. Not that GNOME Shell's bad. I've used it. It seems great, but I really feel the innovation. I really feel the innovations with KDE. Anyway, guys, give us your opinions. Catch you later, YouTube. Have a good evening. Good night.